Welcome back to Sacred Success Salon, how to lead and thrive as an awakened leader in the times that we are in right now, times of opportunity, times of possibility, and times of upheaval. I'm your host, Anna Kowalska. I'm the coach, purpose and prosperity coach. And welcome to another conversation with amazing, amazing speakers. The first one that I'm going to welcome you to is my conversation with Waxela Sananda. Welcome, Waxela.
Thank you. And I'm so happy to be here again with you. I always love our conversations, and it's always fun to see where we end up going.
Oh, I so love it. You are a returning guest to the salon, and every single time where I get the little ping, ask Waxela, I am so excited when you say yes, because you do always bring in a new perspective. So those of you who don't know Waxela, let me just give you a couple words about her. You can read more in the bio right below the video. Waxela Sananda is a galactic shaman. She is an embodied ascension trainer, activator of spiritual gifts, and transformational spirituality coach. Oh, so good. You are just a beautiful human being, such a soul embodied in the space that we are occupying, in a physical space that we are occupying at this time. And I'm looking forward to hearing, what are you creating right now, Waxela? What's up for you, for your tribe? What is it that you are? What the space are you creating right now, and what's showing up?
Ooh, yay. I right now I'm working on my fifth season of the Alchemy of Ascension, and this one's going really deep. So I get really, really woo-woo for those who don't know me, but it's about embodied woo-woo. So we're bringing that in because we have access to absolutely everything interdimensionally. So my fifth season is about star seeds and walk-ins, activating star seeds and walk-ins, and the new human of the golden realm. So while the content's very esoteric, the conversations are amazing, and the people that I'm finding are just so interesting. So I'm excited to share about that. That's March 4th is launch. And then of course my conscious life creation and embodied ascension training is really my heart work, 30 years of practice that I've poured into the container of embodied ascension work. And that's really what I absolutely love to share the most with the world.
So good. So I love that you bring it into the space, because you say esoteric, right? Like you deeply woo esoteric, yet we are living in that's what Sacred Success Salon is about, right? We're living in a world where we do get to merge the both, not to forget. And I love that you talk about embodiment. We don't forget that we are in a physical body, right? And right before we started click the record button, we spoke about how we create with our mind. So, right, like we don't get to abandon those parts of us as we deeply connect with the esoteric and the woo. So how do we lead and thrive right now? How do you lead and thrive right now with the world that's showing us what's possible while trying to keep us where we've been?
Yeah. So it's, we were talking about there's so much energetic and frequency noise going on in the world. Wi-Fi, radio, television, social media, all this stuff is like kind of blasting at us all the time. And so I really want to dig in a little bit. I've been deeply focused on mental attitudes and how we are consciously creating our lives with our thoughts all the time. And did you know that about 95% of our thoughts are subconscious?
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
5% of our thoughts are intended we're thinking, okay, today but 95% of our daily thoughts are subconscious for most people. Yeah. And so we can actually take on our mental attitudes. And so by mental attitudes, I'll just unpack that a little bit. What I mean by that is like choosing, for instance, I'll just give you a, for instance, when you're in traffic, a lot of people will go dark, right? Yeah. Like really nice people will just go negative in traffic, like, you'll hear people start like cursing and, when normally they're nice. And that's a mental attitude about traffic. Another one for me personally was grocery store shopping. I just had this mental attitude that I don't like to do it, and so I would avoid going, I'd wait, and so I just started taking these things on everywhere that I can pinpoint a negative mental attitude or a disharmonious mental attitude. Where can I take on bringing harmony and even enjoyment into those previously disharmonious mental attitudes? So what I did, and this just happened the other day, I went to the grocery store with the intention of a harmonious, enjoyable experience. I started out, when I got in the car, said a little blessing, got to the store, went in, and I am not kidding. Everybody was smiling at me. Everybody was helpful to me. People were talking to me in the grocery store aisles. I went to the fish counter. The guy literally, there was a line behind me and I was the first one there. And then a line showed up behind me. The guy helped me so generously. He literally came out from behind the counter to talk to me and just unnecessarily extra attention. I mean, in a generous, loving way. And then that was my whole experience. And then when I left the store, I was loading up my car. A woman complimented me on what I was wearing and offered to take my cart in because I never park up close. I'm able-bodied. I'll park far from the door. And it was just lovely, really lovely experience, something that previously I dreaded going. And I'm like, look how I shifted that. That was just one choice, one choice. So we have these choices every day in so many ways where, this is really the challenge that I'm giving my clients and myself right now. Where can you take on a new mental attitude of harmony and joy and fun? And of course, this spills into business, relationships. I mean, it spills into every category of life. And when you take on one, you might find that, oh, wow, I changed that. And it's so much better now that I want to start doing that all over the place.
Yeah. This is so great, Waxela, because coming from you, somebody who does really deeply spiritual work and works with so many different dimensions. I mean, your work is really just so tremendous. You bring it down to how I show up in a grocery store. It's creating harmony. And that's what we like. This is, I mean, we talk about this, right? Like, how do we create harmony? There's so much polarization. We spoke about it. There's so much polarization happening in the world right now. So much disharmony. There are forces, believe it or not, dark light. There are forces that have agenda, right? And people are asking, well, I want peace on earth, right? Great. Well, go to the grocery store with intention of peace.
Yes. And, go have a conversation with someone with opposing political views to your own and love that person. See how much you can listen to hear them and receive, what I really have found in all of these types of conversations. I have my own opinions, of course, on things. And when I get into a conversation with someone that's on the opposite side that I am, or an opposing viewpoint in any arena, where I look to go is to see how that person is standing for love and the betterment of the world from their own unique viewpoint, whatever it is.
That's so great. Oh, that's so great. Because you and I started talking about, I truly believe we get to take stand for what we want, for what we are creating. Like that's the time we are in. And I love what you just said. What if we heard the other person that's sharing an opposing view, that maybe, I'm not even going to say that, sharing an opposing view, and listen to them from a place of, well, they are taking a stand for a loving world in their way.
Yeah.
What if they are too standing for a loving world in their way, right?
Yeah. And they just have a different idea about how that comes about. Yeah. And that's what I find most of the time. I mean, okay, sure, there are some random people that maybe don't stand for the betterment of the world, but those aren't the people that we normally are interacting with, right?
Right.
I like to look at the world as everything, and everyone wants something better for themselves and their families and their lineage and their communities. Everybody wants something better. And sure, some people, if they're just trying to get by and they're in survival, their focus is going to be to get through the day. But people that are, and there's absolutely no judgment in that, you've got to focus at this first step first, right?
Yeah.
And then when you get beyond that and you have time to contemplate, consciousness and higher thinking, then, even when you're opposed in viewpoint, it's because you stand for something to be better, to be better. Everybody wants something better. Even if they're still very focused on self, whether it's self or the world, everybody wants to be in a better place. And so if we can approach our conversations and look to understand each other from that space, tell me why you see it that way. How I did this with my ex-mother-in-law, especially about a decade ago. We're actually coming closer together in our viewpoints now, but about a decade ago or more, I had those conversations with her on just to try to understand, like, why do you see it that way? Tell me what it is about that issue that you align with and why, and so that I could understand, and if we do that, we'll get along. We don't need to argue about it. We just need to try to understand each other.
Yeah. So good. As I tune in, tell me if this is true for you. As I've been tuning into the energies of where we're going with the new earth, there is definitely, we've been talking about purpose for years now, and that everybody has a unique purpose. And the reason for that is because every single uniqueness is needed to create where we are going. And as I tune into the new earth, right, and what I'm getting for the visions for it, there will be different ways that it looks for some people, right? So there are these ideas of we'll be in the woods and everything will collapse, right? And there are visions for people who will continue with technology and expand it and use it to advantage. So this is just two examples. What I love about what you just shared is, with that perspective, it really opens up to what is this that is your unique way. Find the community that you align with. Doesn't necessarily cancel everybody else out, right? Find the community you align with so you can create, but the whole world will not move in the same direction with the same opinion, because that depletes creativity.
Absolutely. And we're in a world of endless possibility. We get to consciously create with our minds, bodies, and spirits all the time. So why put a limit on it? The new earth, what if it's all of that and so much more? It's a world of conscious technology, and it's a world of beautiful nature. And it's a world of all of it, and just the idea of conscious technology in harmony with nature. Doesn't that feel good?
Right?
Yeah. That reminds me, I'm seeing so many lifetimes of living in conscious structures. I could say in Lemuria. I have conscious memory of Lemuria, but the structures and the Mer, living in the Mer world, so the underwater world, which I have a lot of lifetimes there too. There were crystal castles, crystal entire structures and cities built from crystal, and it's conscious. It's not just a house or a building, or it's aware and conscious and transmitting information back and forth to the people who enter and the people who exit and the people who live in that area. It's generating consciousness and sharing consciousness all the time. And that can transform our relationship with our structures here. Think about it. Our houses and our buildings, they're made of earth elements. They're made of stone and and rock and wood, the trees, all of these things have consciousness. So, I've had clients before that have had trouble like with their house being, what you call a money pit, falling apart and everything's breaking down. Well, and what I would tell them is bless your house when you come in and when you leave. Thank your house for taking care of you, for protecting you, for supporting you, for giving you a safe space to be and live and have your life and make your food and be with family and friends and appreciate it. What we appreciate grows in value, whether it's our home or our business or our relationships or anything else. What we appreciate appreciates.
Yeah. Which goes, what you just said goes back to our mental attitude towards it, right? Is my house a money pit? Just taking that, right? But that could be expanded into a business. Is my business a drag, right? Or is my business something that feeds me, right? Is my house a money pit, or is it something that takes care of me? Is this relationship something that grows me, right? If I choose to stay in it, or is it a relationship that I am pushing against and resisting, but still staying in? So it's this mental attitude towards it. I love what you just said, Waxela. That's so great. In blessing your house, and I just got this visual, right? Like if we started blessing the situations we are in, right? People who are watching right now, all of you guys are in different situations. Some people are making difficult choices based on political views or economic views, or based on your environment and people. I know there are many people who feel like they don't have many choices because of their environment, right? I feel really lucky because I've cultivated my life in a certain way where I can make choices that are aligned with my highest vision, right? But I have compassion for people who maybe don't have that opportunity, right? So what if we bless? I love that. I just had this vision of just blessing any situation we are in. The home we may not appreciate. Anybody who's not able to pay the mortgage right now, like what if we bless that, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
There is just like such a juice in it, such a like deliciousness in it.
Yeah, it transforms everything. I'm gonna share this just because it's relevant right now. Yesterday, I was driving home from regular errands, and there was a police car behind me. And I thought nothing of it. I noticed he was following me, but I'm like, that's nothing to me. I'm not speeding. I'm not doing anything wrong. And his lights went on, and I got pulled over, and I'm like, well, I wonder what this is about. And where my mental attitude went and where I went was, this is blessing me in some way. I don't know what yet, but it's a blessing in some way. And what happened was my registration was expired. And they're probably, I don't know. So I didn't know, it's one of those things. I was traveling during my birthday, forgot. And I just didn't renew it, even thinking that I had. And as it was two police officers, one on either side of my car. And, they could be really intimidating, but I'm like, I'm just going to appreciate them. I will just appreciate them. They're serving me, right? And they went and got back in their car. They took all my paperwork and then came back and told me, my registration was expired, gave me a warning. I went and got my registration this morning. No, there was no penalty or anything on it. And it was a service, right? I needed to know that. I'm driving a car around. It's part of what we do. And I actually literally felt I felt uplifted by the interaction. The police officer was very kind. It was just like, what if my attitude had been like, if I was angry or nasty when he came to the window, would he have given me if I had been like, why are you pulling me over? I'm not doing anything wrong. Would he have given me a warning then?
No, you probably would have gotten a ticket. My experience, you probably would have gotten a ticket.
Right. And I just chose to smile and say, I have a note by my computer. I look at it every single day. Everything is for you. The universe is assisting you in every moment. So everything that happens, even if it's being pulled over by a police officer, everything is in my favor, serving me. And when you have that mental attitude, I'm not perfect. I have my moments, believe me, but when you choose, it's a choice. You choose that mental attitude, life gets really fun, like way more fun than otherwise.
Yeah.
It's always a choice.
Yeah, it's so good. And I get, so I'm hearing like, well, it's easy, right? When things are easy, right? And some people really are facing some situations where they're like, I have no idea how to bless this right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right? What would you suggest to that person who's really just like, I really don't know how to bless this situation. I get it. I hear what you're saying. I don't know how to bless it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm a strong believer in shadow work. It's not spiritual bypassing, which is pretending that there isn't anything dark going on, right?
Right.
But shadow work is so important. And what I mean by shadow work, it's like facing the negative, facing the quote unquote demons in your life, the things that are weighing on you, bringing you down, making you feel heavy, the darkness within. It must be purged in order to experience the light within. And that is just the yin and the yang, the circle with the black and the white, they fit perfectly together. It's designed that way here on this reality. So the shadow will never be gone. It's part of the challenges of life are what make us grow. Right.
Yeah.
So when someone's noticing, oh my gosh, I really have something up, I'm in distress about it. It's really, really difficult for me and I can't see my way out of it. The very first thing to do is sit with it and write about it, talk about it, scream about it, yell about it, whatever it is you need to do to acknowledge it deeply, deeply going into witnessing, acknowledging, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, I experience you, because we waste so much energy on stuffing things in and trying to pretend that that stuff isn't there. That's how they get stuck. Thoughts get stuck in our body, energies get stuck in our body, disharmonious patterns get stuck in our body when we don't acknowledge them and clear them. So to witness it, go deeply. I have a meditation that goes with my book. I'll do a shameless plug here.
Please do.
It's called The Love You Crave, A Course in Ascension, Alchemy, and Connection to the Divine. When you buy it online, it's $5.99 ebook or $12.99, I think, if it's paperback. But along with that, you get some resources. And one of those resources is clearing or releasing thoughts from the body meditation. And what it does is it takes you deeply into your physical being and you get to talk to those parts of your body that are grumpy. And sometimes you don't even know, like sometimes you'll do a body scan and you'll find something. That happened to me. I found what I believe was a cyst in my ovary by doing an internal body scan, listening to my body. And I got to see a whole scenario, trauma from my childhood or my youth play out. And I'm like, I didn't know I was still holding that, but it got lodged in a part of my body and I was able to release it. I believe that I prevented myself from what could have turned into cancer, could have turned into something, something dangerous for me. So to allow those things to fester is not something you want to do. So to really let me give you permission, if you're going through a challenge, if you've got some stuff up, to get it out, to witness it, acknowledge it. Now, I'm not saying get it on somebody else. This is personal work, right? Shadow work is personal work, unless you're doing this with a partner or somebody that's you're consciously and intentionally doing it with, who's helping you and supporting you through it. So to acknowledge it, to witness it, to get it out, to write about it. And then when you're ready, when you're truly ready, it's like this inner child that just wants to be seen and heard and loved and acknowledged in a way that he or she didn't get before, or when they needed it. And so you give them that attention. And what happens when you give a child attention, the attention that they're craving, when you give them that love, they transform. They go from being sad and upset and are yelling and
demanding,
to feeling loved. It just, everything wants to feel loved. That's all. And that can be enough, so you listen to it and then you'll feel this expansion. And just, I have breath work too. And you don't have to do my breath work. I have ascension breath work, but I also have, that's actually part of my free gift. So, but any breath work, like any deep breathing work can help you release and work it out and clear your physical, clear your energetic, clear your system so that you can hold more light. Here's the thing with embodied ascension. Embodied ascension is about holding more light in the physical body and the energetic bodies, the physical body, the energetic body, the light body. So we have these like multidimensional bodies around our physical structure. And so embodied ascension, it's an ascended, a higher frequency of light, a higher amount of light being held in the body system. And in order to have that, every time we level up, every time we move up in our consciousness, in our ascension process, there's a saying, new level, new devil. So we level up, then the shadow that was previously there, that has been there, keeping us from holding that level of light before, it must come up to be cleared. It's just the way it works, like gravity. It's not tormenting you. It's not trying to harass you. It's just coming up to be acknowledged, witnessed, and cleared and loved, really. And then when you can let that go, you're going to expand your consciousness, and your energy expands, and your ability to hold a new level of light expands. That is embodied ascension.
Oh, so good. I'm just taking it in because it's such a beauty. And that's where that's the work we are doing right now. That's the work. Yeah. So to summarize it, that's how we lead and thrive right now. Yes. This was amazing, Waxela. So you mentioned the free gift.
Yeah,
Would you mind sharing more about it? And you guys, if you've never been to the salon, let me just tell you, there is a golden button below this video. That's where you claim your gifts. But hold on, don't go yet. So tell us.
I love it. Claim your gifts. Yes. Okay. So my gift is called Evolving Consciousness. It's a masterclass. And so what it includes, it's a deep meditation where I will guide people through an experience. That experience is going to include pineal center activating, which is your intuition, your connection with your intuition, heart awakening activation, anchoring your divinity, your light, your source energy into the base of your spine and up your entire chakra system. And I take you into, I talk a lot about the embodiment of divine frequencies. We go into feeling, because our feeling is like the juicy part of what makes everything that we're working on manifesting actually happen. We've got to partner our mind and our feeling, which is in our solar plexus, and our heart energy, which is the in-between of the mind and the solar plexus, or the brain and the solar plexus. So I take you through some of those meditation, activation, and really take you into the 12th dimensional consciousness frequencies. And that's part of Central Sun, which I'm very connected to. And then as a bonus, there is a portal to New Lemuria activation and discussion. I mentioned Lemuria before. I'm very connected to that. And then I also am including an Ascension breathwork class. So you get 3 classes in this free gift.
So good. Oh my gosh, that's like a whole toolbox right there. So great. Thank you for your generosity.
My pleasure. I love sharing this work so much.
So amazing. Clearly it shows too. Your face lights up when you share about it. So you guys light up your face, share your gift, claim your gift with the button right below. So Waxela, as we part ways, and you've shared so much, I was taking notes as you were talking because there were just such a beautiful things you brought into the conversation. I have one last question. What is your vision for the world as we keep moving forward as humanity?
Oh, I love this. So my vision for the world is that we all get connected in our hearts and become intentional with who we're being in the world and what we're putting out there, what we're sharing. You said a minute ago, share your gifts. That's it. Share your gifts generously with the world. And what happens is when you share yourself and your generosity with the world, your experience of the world is that it comes back to you tenfold, 100-fold, and more. Your experience of being harmonized and centered and balanced expands. So do share your gifts, be generous, and allow yourself to receive that back. This is how we all upgrade together.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for that amazing, amazing vision. I felt the expansion of it in my heart and my solar plexus. Yeah, so
Wonderful.
great. So
Thank
good.
you so much for creating this container, your beautiful work. I love you and I love what you do, Anna. Thank you.
Thank you, Waxela, Sananda, for being again in the salon. I cannot wait again for our next conversation, which I know will be coming. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thank you for joining us in the salon. We have much more to come, so make sure you claim Waxela's gift right below this video, the whole toolbox. Claim it, implement it, share your gifts, and we'll see you at the next conversation. Bye for now.